Hey, welcome to Sip and Scan. Welcome to Sip and Scan. This is where just we tap back into our bodies. We have become so disconnected from our bodies that either our bodies are talking and we're just ignoring it, or we've been ignoring it so long it's become normalized dysfunction. And so we have done a full head to toe body scan of what is going on. So now we're just taking bits and pieces of the body scan and leaning more into those so that you can see the importance of them. Okay. So in the body scan, it asks you about exercise. It asks you about movement and stretching. Now, we're not talking about trying to run a marathon and trying to gain all this body mass and lose all this body fat. That's not what we're talking about. That's all good and dandy, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about general everyday movement, everyday stretching, because this is going to help you in your everyday living, right? This is going to help you live that longer, healthier life out loud, on purpose, intentionally, right? But we have to move daily. When we don't move, our bodies, the blood, our brains all become stagnant because lack of movement. And so you'll have memory issues, you'll have joint pain, you have weight management issues, all because you decide not to move. It is definitely a decision. You have to move. I'm not saying you have to walk 3 miles every day. What I'm saying is when you get up, stretch. Hands over your head, right? Stretch, touch your toes, stretch out your back. Make sure, because as you age, your body goes like this, right? And so you want to stretch that out. You'll feel taller, you'll have more confidence, and all of that good stuff. Movement is extremely important. And so today we're going to kind of lean into physical movement and mental movement, okay? I want to give this scripture, Philippians 4 and 8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. Okay. And I wanted to provide that scripture because when it comes to mental exercises, we have to keep our minds moving because your mind can become stagnant as well, right? We talk about this in one of my other teachings where we're talking about undisciplined emotions, right? Anger, undisciplined is rage. Okay. And so a lot of emotions go like that. Fear, undisciplined leads to stagnation because you're not moving. Anything that causes you to be stuck in the moment, stuck in a situation, stuck in your past has caused you to become stagnant in your body, in your mind. And so when your mind is stuck in a particular thing that might have happened, something that somebody said, you're thinking on the wrong things, and it can cause memory issues, emotional regulation issues. You have to be very mindful about the things that you're thinking on because wherever you're thinking, that's where you will follow. Okay? You have to be very cautious about the things that you're thinking on. And so you need to have tools in place. So when you find yourself thinking the wrong thoughts, what can you do? Is there a favorite song that you could play? Is there a scripture that you can rehearse? Can you write it down? Because a lot of times, if we write down what's in our minds, we can see it and we can either accept it or reject it. Some things we have to send back to the sender. We don't want that, right? I refuse to think on these things because depending on what you're thinking on, the enemy will come into agreement with you, and then there's a manifestation of whatever you was thinking. And so we have to be very careful, being able to be mindful of what we're thinking. If the thoughts aren't right, write those down, right? And confront the lie that's holding you hostage and holding you stagnant. Okay, so some other things that can help is playing, like the word puzzles, crossword puzzles. Seek your find, do some, put some puzzles together. What do you like to do? What will keep your mind going and growing? right? We have to exercise our mind just as much as we exercise our bodies, okay? Because as you get older, this memory thing, we got to get together on that. Everybody I talk to has some type of memory issue. What are you thinking on? Because we're always looking at the phone, right? We're always, and that's not good. And we just tell you that that's not good. That's not something that you should be thinking on 24/7. You wake up, you grab your phone, you got the light from the phone, which is not good. You got the radiation from the phone, which is not good. So you sleeping with it. You need to put it on the floor, right? Be mindful of the decisions that you're making, because it might not make a huge difference right now, but it's accumulating. And so at some point, you're going to see the manifestation of always having your phone on your ear, the manifestation of always having the phone in the bed, the manifestation of always thinking about the wrong things. You start to age, you always stressed out. When you stress, cortisol levels are released. Cortisol is released, and it goes throughout your body, and they can cause inflammation. Inflammation opens up the door to chronic illness, right? It's a pathway. So we need to make sure that we're making the right decisions and keeping the doors closed that we don't want to fool it. Okay? Are you moving? Are you thinking on these things, the good things, right? Are you being in the moment, or are you just always on the go, right? What are you thinking on? What's important to you? Okay. And you have to balance in the yes process, which is a series that I'm doing to help you continue to say yes through everyday life, through everyday challenges, because it can become difficult, right? And we talk about being the art of being in the moment. There's a balance between being and becoming. Yes, we're trying to get our future set. We try to make sure we good, but at the same time, we have to be mindful that in this present moment, this is all that's guaranteed, right? And so you have to be very mindful of what you're paying attention to. Look around you, take in the smells, take in the sights, take in the scenery. Be very mindful what you're thinking on, okay? Because it's going to lead you in a direction of manifestation of something, okay? And we want that something to be positive and not negative. And so when it comes to exercising regularly is going to help and decrease your pain, your inflammation. It's going to help with your mindset, right? We've talked about that. We got to move the mind. We got to move the mind. We got to think about things that are going to help us. Um, so mental exercises, learning a new language is something else that you can do. Engaging in activities that enhance memory and cognitive function. Now I know there's some games that you play on the computer or on your phone that kind of help, but be mindful of the time limit, because that light hurts your eyes, right? For a lot of us, because it's like a blue light or something that emits from the phone, and it hurts your eyes over time. If you always looking at a computer, you will have eye issues, right? Everything in moderation. So exercise, of course, it's going to improve your mood. It's going to improve your sleep, right? And it's going to reduce stress. So being able to move, and a lot of people are under a lot of stress, especially in this day and age. So being intentional about moving, you're moving your body, you're moving the blood, you're activating your brain cells, but you're also pushing out negative activity, pushing out negative feelings, right? And so it's good for mind, body, soul, spirit. You have to move, right? Move out the things that are no longer serving you so you can receive what does. You have to move your body. You have to move your body every day. Right? I know some days we just do not feel like it. But what I have learned is that even when I don't feel like it and I do it out of discipline, right? Because discipline and consistency are the keys to manifestation. When I do it, even though I don't feel like it, I learned that, oh, it wasn't so bad. And I actually feel better. Because why? It improves your mood. It improves your mood, right? We can't just allow us not feeling like it to stop us from doing the things that our body requires. right? Because when we do that, that's why our bodies are breaking down so easily and so fast, younger, right? These 20-something-year-olds now, Lord, their bodies is all beat up. They all beat up because we're always on the go and we got so much that we have to do in this social media. And calm down, take a deep breath, right? Move, stretch, enjoy the scenery, play some mind games. Not with people, but with the puzzles, um swimming, cycling. Those are things. Those are low impact exercises that you can do physically. Cycling, swimming, walking, 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity per week is like 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day. If you are stewarding your time well, which we should be, you should be able to squeeze out 20 minutes every day to help your body live longer, healthier, without pain, right? 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day. We can do that. We can do that. Whether it's first thing in the morning, sometime in the middle of the day, right before you lay down, stretch your body. Stretch your mind. Okay? Be very, very intentional. And I think that's all I have for y'all today. It's just we gotta move. We gotta move. If you're feeling any type of tightness, stiffness in your joints, in your back, hip pain, you need to move. And yes, it's gonna hurt in the beginning because you have not moved, you have not exercised, you have not stretched that limb, that bone, that nothing. So yes, it's gonna hurt in the beginning. Absolutely. Take your time, ease into it, be be diligent, be consistent, and you will see a difference. You will see a difference, but it's gonna take a little time. Because how much time did it take for you to get to where you at now? So don't expect to do a couple of stretches, a couple of days, and feel 100% better. No, this is something that should be a part of your everyday regimen. I have to stress, make yourself a priority, make your body a priority, make your mind a priority so that it can continue to carry you on throughout your healthy years, right? Healthy years, being able to move without grunting when you're trying to sit up and get off the couch, right? So you can move around with the kiddos instead of having to say, okay, every 20 minutes you gotta take a break. Right? To have a more enjoyable life, we have to move on an everyday basis. Stretch. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs, stretch your back. Right? Be intentional. Be intentional about stretching, about moving, about brain activity. Don't just sit there in the days all the time. Okay? Think on the things that's going to help you live out this thing called life more on your terms versus your body's non-movement terms, right? 'Cause we don't move, then you got the crutches, you got the walker, or you got the wheelchair. Let's move. Let's keep our bodies moving now. So maybe we won't have to go that route. Or maybe if you're already in a wheelchair, maybe it can help you to get up out of the wheelchair, right? But we got to start somewhere. Kick your legs back and forth, right? I'm not saying jump full-fledged into walking 3 miles a day. No, start slow, but be consistent. Stretch your hands, right? It helps, especially if you have arthritis. Stretch your hands, get a stress ball. This is all part of movement. Move your feet and your legs. If you're sitting down, just kind of kick your legs, get the blood flow in your legs, right? Move your torso, move back and forth. Do what you can where you are right now. And as you are consistent and disciplined with your actions, you'll see that you'll be able to do more and more. And that should encourage you to continue to move. Okay? All right. So next week, sip and scan. I'm not sure. What we're gonna talk about next week. We talked about food. Well, no, we have not talked about food. We'll talk about food next week. We've talked about energy levels. We've talked about sleep. We've talked about exercising the body and the mind. And so next week we'll get into food. Oh y'all not gonna like me. But meet me next next Wednesday and we're gonna get into nutrition. Okay? Because 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So we'll be talking about that next week. All right. Have a great day on purpose with purpose. See y'all soon.